need control of all facets of our life. Well, if you believe in a one-world utopia, then you would see control of all facets of our lives, right? Military, banking, and of course, the information superhighway to a global governing body. Well, on October 1st, the U.S. is set to hand over control of the internet to a sort of United Nations, if you will. The web now will be open to influences from countries like China, Russia, Iran, which of course already censored the internet in their own country. So can this globalist nightmare be stopped?
A few thoughts now on the states versus Obama. 4 state attorneys general are now suing the Obama administration to stop the transfer of internet oversight, saying the move threatens online freedom of expression, of enterprise, of speech. The suit comes just suing the Obama administration to stop the transfer of internet oversight, saying the move threatens online freedom of expression, threatens online freedom of expression, threatens online freedom of expression, of enterprise, of speech. The suit comes just days before this administration wants the United States to relinquish control of the Internet's domain name system. And that deadline is midnight, October 1st. Congress failed to delay the transfer, so now Arizona, Nevada, Oklahoma, and the state of Texas have stepped up to stop the move and to stop President Obama. Of course, states have often found themselves in this administration forced to take matters into their own hands because this administration has acted so often well beyond its constitutional powers and has failed to enforce federal laws as well, including, of course, immigration law.
Contagion. The definition in economics and finance is contagion can be explained as a situation where shock and peculiar economy or a region spreads out and affects others, like something going from Europe to America. Stocks today, though, it's going to be worrisome. We saw today's knee-jerk reaction. It proves that beneath the calm, there are memories of Lehman, there are memories of Bear Stearns, and how our own banking system collapsed.
There are mobile wallets, merchant apps, and old-fashioned. There are mobile wallets, merchant apps, and old-fashioned debit and credit cards. So should you cash in on going cash-free? Rachel Hook walks around every day with almost no money in her wallet.
I don't use cash or checks. Actually, I don't even have a checkbook. Cash.
She pays for virtually everything, including her share of groceries to her roommate, through an app on her phone.
Credit and debit cards are still important cashless players, but new technologies are pushing us to abandon paper money entirely.
You could already be helping make cash obsolete if you're using one of the 37 million electronic toll tags on the road. Maybe you're using a mobile wallet like Apple Pay, Android Pay, PayPal, or Samsung Pay, or a person-to-person payment system via Square, Pop Money, Facebook payments in Messenger, or Venmo to pay friends in a snap. Branded apps from companies like Starbucks, Walmart, Uber, and Dunkin' Donuts make it simple for you to pay while building customer loyalty for the merchants. In the future, you may be getting rid of more than just your wallet. One day, you may not even need your phone. Customer loyalty for the technologies on the horizon. Just your wallet. One day, you may not even need your phone. Just your wallet. One day, you may not even need your phone. Just your wallet. One day, you may not even need your phone. New cashless technologies on the horizon will let you make payments with just your fingerprint. And then there's an app that's in the works that will let you scan merchandise. Fingerprint, 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 fingerprint. And then there's an app that's in the works that will let you...
Make this shit.
People's Republic of Korea. But China and Russia believe it's too much and will break the strategic balance of the region.
This is Douglas McIntyre from 24/7 Wall Street, and these are the most dangerous cities in America. One of the most important facts about this is that when people look at high crime, they often associate it with a raw number of people who have crimes committed against them. To look at dangerous cities, what we've done is we've taken the number of crimes and divided that into the city's population, so it's crimes per 100,000 people, which is a better measurement. This report is called the FBI's Uniform Crime Report, and they classify violent crime into 4 sections: murder and negligent manslaughter, rape, robbery, and aggravated assault. One of the main sets of correlations between these crime numbers is poverty in one case and unemployment in the other. As would make sense, poverty in one case and unemployment in the other. Poverty in one case and unemployment in the other. Poverty in one case and unemployment in the other. Poverty in one case and poverty in one case and unemployment in the other. As would make sense, you tend to have higher crime rates in areas where more people are unemployed. So what does the takeaway become? Since unemployment and poverty from city to city don't tend to change a lot year to year, this list is probably going to stay about the same in the future.
Tony Volkswagen is the only Volkswagen dealership in Hawaii to offer 3 years free.
Going to stay about the same in the future.
This is Jonathan Kahn, the author of The Harbinger, standing in New York City. And we're about to see another manifestation, a harbinger of where we are heading. In the book, The Harbinger, it opens up the mystery of the last days of ancient Israel. Israel was a nation that had known God, was founded by God and on His Word, but in their prosperity, the people turned away from God. They turned to the Word, but in their prosperity, the people turned away from God. They turned to God, Baal. And they offered up their Word, but in their prosperity, the people turned away from God. They turned away from the God of their foundation. And they turned to the god Baal. And they offered up their children as sacrifices on the altars of Baal. They called what was evil good and what was good evil. They drove God out of their government, out of their culture, out of the lives of their children. They persecuted and hunted down the righteous. And they did this all as they worshipped Baal. And the Harbinger reveals the 9 signs or harbingers that appeared in the last days of ancient Israel, and that those same signs, harbingers, are now appearing on American soil. Some of them, many of them, right here in New York City. And that those same signs, harbingers, are now appearing on American soil. Some of them, many of them, right here in New York City. Some in Washington, D.C., but here we are in the city of most of the harbingers, starting with 9/11 and the attack on America. Now, one of the things about the template of the Harbinger is that when the first warnings came, when the warning came to ancient Israel, they ignored them, and they got even worse. They departed even more brazenly against the ways of God. They ignored them, and they got even worse. They departed even more brazenly against the ways of God. They ignored them, and they got even worse. They departed even more brazenly against the ways of God. They made the vow, the declaration that Isaiah recorded, Isaiah 9:10, the bricks have fallen, but we will rebuild with hewn stone. The sycamores have been cut down, but we will plant cedars in their place. So they're saying we're going to get worse. We're going to come back greater, but without you, God. So spiritually in their place. So they're saying we're going to get worse. We're going to come back greater, but without you, God. Then even worse and worse and worse. And that's exactly the template that we are seeing in America. Since 9/11, we have followed the template of ancient Israel. Not only with the harbingers appearing, but with increasing defiance, increasing the calling of evil good and good evil, increasing and followed the template of ancient Israel. Not only with the harbingers appearing, but with increasing defiance, increasing the calling of evil good and good evil, increasing in every way immorality. And when the judgment, increasing defiance, increasing the calling of evil good and good evil, increasing in every way immorality. And when the hearing, but with increasing defiance, increasing the calling, seeing in America. Since 9/11, we have followed the template of ancient Israel, not only with the harbingers appearing, but with increasing defiance, increasing the calling of evil good and good evil, increasing in every way immorality. And when the judgment finally came, after the warning, years later, the judgment came to ancient Israel, the people of Israel were worshiping Baal. Now, Baal the real name was Baal. It means Lord or Master. Baal was the substitute god. He was the god of their apostasy. He was the god that they turned to when they turned away from the God of their fathers. Baal was the anti-god, or representing their fall. America has followed that pattern. The harbingers have appeared. Could the sign of Baal appear in the land? Could the sign of Baal, the sign of a nation that appeared, could the sign of Baal appear in the land? Could the sign of Baal, the sign of a nation that has turned away from God, a nation that has embarked on defiance of God and judgment, could that sign appear in this land? And we are here today to witness that sign appearing on American soil. And it is September 19th, 2016. I'm standing in New York City, in City Hall Park, on a rainy Monday afternoon, a little past 1. What you see in back of me, about to be unveiled, covered up, is the arch that led to the temple of Baal. In a moment, they're going to have a ceremony, they're going to unveil it, and there'll be American leaders here, and what you will see on American soil is the sign of Baal. Here now on American soil, in back of me, is the manifesting of the sign of Baal. This is a reproduction of the arch that stood in Syria that led to the temple of Baal, the arch through which the worshippers of Baal would go to worship their God, the God of Israel's apostasy. Baal in America. The arch through which the worshippers of Baal would go to worship their God, the God of Israel's apostasy. Israel's apostasy. Israel's apostasy. Israel's apostasy. Baal in America, the God that is there at the time of the harbingers, the time of judgment. This is the sign, this is what led to, and this is what a sign of a nation that is leading to judgment. Baal, the sign of a nation that departed from its God. Baal, the sign of a nation in apostasy from God. Baal, the sign of a nation that once knew good and evil and now calls evil good and good evil. Baal, the sign of a nation that offers its children as sacrifices. Baal, the sign of a nation that persecutes the followers of God. And now, September 2016, this harbinger has here to America.
Continue to exploit the vacuums that are there.
Scan merchandise and
the Free Speech Fairness Act in their own churches from the IRS. Republican leaders or pastors may soon have more freedom to express their political
men and women who serve and protect the city daily.
Because there's so much going on, and we just wanted to make a positive for the officers, but we wanted to let them know that we are
the pulpit without fear of punishment from the IRS. Republican leaders are working to limit a law from the 50s called the Johnson Amendment. It basically puts a gag order on pastors in their own churches. They risk losing their tax-exempt status if they comment on political issues. So Republicans are pushing the Free Speech Fairness Act to stop the censorship.
It's time that we eliminate the targeting of the IRS. Enough is enough. And this has been going on far too long. It is absolutely unconscionable that our government would force individuals to choose between their constitutionally protected rights or their faith.
House Republicans hope the bill will restore freedom of speech.